Good afternoon and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 82, and I'm continuing the story of the King of the Wind. Now, you might remember that the cook had taken Sham into the market by himself to buy vegetables and a suckling pig to roast for a special event for the king. Sham had been loaded fully with vegetables and eggs and this pig before he decided that he'd had enough of the cook altogether and ran off with the cart and all its supplies and the cook trying to rein him in. The end of it was that everything was overturned. There were eggs all over the cook. The pig had run off. The vegetables were scattered about. The cook was furious. Everyone had seen this. People were laughing at what had taken place. Everyone knew that Agba had no problem taking care of that cart and the horse, but this cook couldn't handle the horse at all. The cook was so furious, he eventually said, "I know what I'll do." He was going to take him to the horse traders, also known as the Thieves' Kitchen. Now, why it was called the Thieves' Kitchen is because no one knew where the horses came from and no questions were ever asked. If a horse was there for sale, it was sold, and the price was negotiated, and no one made a fuss about anything. Well, the cook gathered things together, got the cart somehow fastened again to Sham, and began to walk on his way to the Thieves' Kitchen. As he was approaching it, well, more than approaching it, he was at the one end of this area of town. There was a huge man that was more stalking than walking by. He had a horsewhip in his hand, hat, leather jerkin over his shoulders, rough-looking pants and shoes. His legs were giant, his arms giant, his hands giant. The cook thought, "I know what he wants. Obviously, he's in need and in search of a horse." But the man had walked by, and the cook was stuck there trying to lead Sham one direction or another, and remember, Sham was being a little bit uncooperative. But then this huge hulk of a man turned on his heel and came back the other way. And as he did, the cook piped up in what could only be described as a shrill little voice. "Are you in need of a horse?" That man pulled his hat down tighter over his head and ears and eyes and said, "No. And by the way, your price is too high." And we'll stop the story there.